why when we reach the I think we are live. Hello everybody. Welcome back to Natha and Deer's Guide to Everything. If anybody's tuning in or watching the VOD afterwards, I hope everything is working properly. I've tested it a little bit. As far as I can tell, it should be fine. Today it's going to be a pretty relaxed one. We're basically just going to do what I would normally be doing on an evening, which is essentially just trying to prep and create some items for a homebrew campaign that I've got going on. It's homebrew, but it's based in Spelljammer, if that makes sense. So the majority of it is homebrew. I have a world which I've created called the Dalurian Highlands, and we are going to essentially just brainstorm and try and come up with a few fun items. Today I have something on my mind that I wanted to do. There are these items in the world called one of the primary magical artifacts in the world, and these craft crystals, spelled with a K, because I was playing a lot more combat at the time. And these craft crystals essentially are all going to have different properties, some varying in power, most based on a member of the pantheon or a particular element or something like that. So basically I'm just going to brainstorm. If there are any suggestions, please feel free to throw them in the chat. I'm just going to talk to myself essentially while we're doing this, but I do have the chat up if anyone drops in. So you get to see a little bit of my process and a little bit, I guess, of how I organize my homebrew. So let me show you. So I use Notion, and I have done for a while, to kind of, let me lock my webcam in case I didn't move it, to organize everything in my campaigns basically. So I have the region and the city, and then the different sections of that city. And so some of them are completely empty. When I want to populate that with characters, I'll often use just an AI model, or I just have a DM book open in front of me to pick a name from. Excuse me, just had my dinner, so I'm a bit gassy right now. So we have some random NPCs, and I'm hoping that no one from my campaign is going to pay too much attention here. Otherwise, they might see. Hi Leslie, how you doing? Is the music too loud? I'm starting to think that maybe it might be. I forgot to turn that down. Let me do that right now. Don't want to mute it, I just want to turn it down. Shouldn't need advanced audio properties, should I? But as long as everything looks good and sounds good, I think we're fine. That's so strange. Why can't I? Aha, here we go. How many players are in my current campaign? I'll show you if you like. Let me drop the music down a touch for you. You'll have to let me know how it is. Minus 10 dB, that should do. That should be a bit better. Yeah, I'll pull that up for you. I'll show you the campaign that I'm playing. I'll show you my players. Not my character, sorry, my campaigns. So I have a few on the go. I'm not actually playing in all of these. I just keep them going to share content with a few other people. But this is the one, Into the Void. So we have a double sorcerer party. We have Batutu, who is a lizard folk lunar sorcerer. We have Lucia, who is playing a Hadozi, but a tiny Hadozi, like, you know, is it a capuchin monkey that Ace Ventura kind of has on his shoulder? One of those, essentially. We have Luna, played by my friend Sarah. Misu Tihon, we just call him Misu. He's playing a Minotaur monk, Way of the Kensei. Portobello, played by my friend Tom. He's a Grung druid, Circle of the Spores. We have Rattle, a spacefaring hamster. We've got him down as a tabaxi, but we've actually reskinned that as a space hamster that he's playing, a sentient walking and talking one, not just the giant ones you get normally. And Reensby Cools, who's playing a Loxodon. So lots of beasts in the party. We have a frog, a bull, an elephant, a hamster, and a lizard, and a monkey, and an elf. That is what they're playing. So quite a few players, 7 players. That's kind of my primary playing group at the moment. We've not been playing a lot recently, just due to other commitments, but here we are. Yeah, so that's the campaign at the moment. And let's switch back over to Notion. Incredible? What makes you say incredible? How come you think it's incredible, Leslie? I'm intrigued to hear. You're going to be privileged and learn a little bit about the world and everything that I'm making for here. So I wanted to essentially base one of these. I've actually written it down by the looks of it there. The craft, intelligence, justice, might. So my players don't know anything about these, the Pantheon yet. None of them are clerics. None of them really have an interest so far. But it will come into play for sure at some point. So yeah, we're going to try and build these into runic type crystals, and I want those crystals to have very unique effects. So let's just grab some notes. What I'm going to do is pull all of these, copy that, stick it into here, just so I've got which ones they actually are on here. Such variety. Yeah, no, I've had one of my players who plays Reensbury now, the Loxodon. That particular person had played a marble before, as in a literal, a glass marble. I don't know why I allowed that, to be honest with you, but we moved. It was okay. It was fine. Figured it out. It was his first game ever. And that is that group's second campaign overall. Their trial by fire was Curse of Strahd. And they smashed it. They did really, really well. So that's always fun. So we're going to have this is how I kind of do all my homebrew, by the way. I first just think about in my mind what I want it to be. Try and take some examples from items that already exist so I can try and balance them out a little bit. So in the Hadozi city known as Rangapota, this city right here, it is a Hadozi ruled city. Elves, very human, custom numbers are very good, hence a lot of them running around. Yeah, I mean, elves are always popular just because Lord of the Rings, right? That tends to be it, to be honest. Everyone wants to play as Legolas, right? You know what? I'm one of them, to be honest with you. I also love playing an elf, although there's not too many in my list of characters overall. But what I thought we could do is steal a bit of work for so Fortisal is essentially like a giant monkey demigod, essentially, and the underlying story of part of my campaign. Hopefully, again, none of my players are watching this, but I'd like them to come in. There is going to be a giant running theme throughout it, but the giants are currently dormant, so it's something they don't really know. Magnura is a bear, and they're kind of like guardian type creatures. Let's change into that. And they each have a color assigned to them, a different kind of craft crystal. So you know what? I don't think we need to do this. I know what they are, and we'll explain as we go. So if we could do with a little table, perhaps. First of all, I've come into this completely unprepared, basically. So we'll call it crystal type. And then, for example, we'll have crimson. Excuse me if you can hear the keyboard. It should be fairly quiet because of the dynamic mic, but we'll put it up on. So I guess we want it to have like a primary effect. So I took some or damage type, maybe when used on a weapon. Maybe not all of them are good to be weapons. There's going to be like a clear one, which I've hinted at recently. Hi Rob, thank you for popping in. You can watch though. You can watch. It's not the end of the world. Good friend of mine tuning in. One of my players, in fact. So I did steal some. I need a switchboard already. This is going to get frustrating, isn't it? If I go to my homebrew creations, one of the last things I did was these in that monkey city, in the Hadozi city, they have red glaives. They wield the red craft, essentially, which gives them magic and whatever else. So we have a crimson craft glaive here, and actually this is based on the ruidium. That's right. Based on not the ruidium elephant, ruidium weapon. Here you go. And it basically gives an extra 2d6 psychic damage, and they can become corrupted. And actually, I thought that that kind of corrupting property was quite interesting to throw on a rare weapon. But so basically, what I wanted to do was weave that, kind of assimilate that into something Crimson related. So Crimson Craft Glaive, not super inventive so far. I thought a climbing speed is good for anyone that's not a Hadozi. This could be super useful for them. That gives them the ability to go around that. So okay, so if we just say now then that the Crimson one, its unique property. So let's go. What is unique about it? Grants a climbing speed. That's quite fun. We could lean into that. We could say it's got acrobatics attached to it as well. But let's add a bunch of crystals in here. So crimson, there's going to be a topaz / like a golden one for Magnura. Shivern, that's going to be like a sound-based one. I'm thinking like a silver crystal. Clear, I had some ideas for, and I actually wrote it on a note on my phone, I'm pretty sure. Did I? Maybe I did not. Maybe I did not note it down. But it was going to be like a have a resonating property, which could be fun. So we'll leave that one for now. We've got like the bat. What could the bat one be? Let's leave that as grey for now, because I'm really not sure. Kiran, the heart, is like a flying, very based on the Power Rangers, Megazords and such. Kiran, it's going to be like a, what's the colour? Amethyst, right? Amethyst, craft crystal. I didn't want to give them anything like super complicated names. It just didn't make sense to do so, I don't think. And actually all this came about, and it was inspired by the Giant book that just came out. So, so Tanithus is like a deep blue, like a sapphire. Mortisax is green. What's green? Emerald. We love that. Imorex, more like necrotic energy. What would that be? That'd be like a amber with like a black veins, perhaps. Go with amber. Umber, if that's the word I'm after. So what do we imagine that the crimson thing we give you? I think fire off the top of my head, but I think that's a bit cliche. I don't think Hadozi would use that. I actually think because they're spacefaring creatures, they would go down the psychic route, which is kind of already built into what we were doing already over on D&D Beyond. Because it already deals 2d6 psychic damage. Again, I stole this from obviously the Ruidus item that had been put together by the one and only Matthew Mercer for Critical Role. But I'm not sure. This feels too punishing for me. When you roll a 1 and attack roll made with this weapon, you must make a DC 20 charisma save. I'm not too sure about that. You're literally just joining me in the thought process here of what we're going to do. We don't need a swimming speed. This is how I start most of my homebrew items. I just start out straight up with stealing other items effect, checking out what it looks like under here. So you can see this one actually was originally swimming. We're going to change this to climbing. It needs to be climbing. We could ask ChatGPT. It's a good way to get the juices, creative juices flowing. But climbing speed is fun. We like that. Creature hit with them takes an extra 2d6 psychic damage. That's just straight up amazing. I think there needs to be a downside of some description. I always thought perhaps it could take something from you for you to be able to use it. So definitely a tunable for sure. How rare is the flame tongue longsword? What rarity is that considered as? Let's check it out. Just rare. But that's because you have to activate it. The flames erupt from the blade, blah, 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 blah. The flames last to use your bonus action or until you drop or sheath the sword. So it's just not permanent, basically, but it's essentially permanent. Why would you ever use it and not set it on fire? I think we can drop it down to rare because I want there to be something above this. The gaining a climbing speed gives it a little more than just what the flame tongue longsword has, but it needs a little something extra. Maybe we can come back to that. So now we know that it deals psychic. Perhaps the armor could give you resistance. Do that damage type. How have I just done that? So unique, it grants a climbing speed. We love that. And there has to be a downside to all of these crystals. So perhaps let's try and draw some inspiration. I was just typing on Notion, by the way. Let's try and draw some inspiration from Big B's Presents Glory of the Giants, because there's plenty about these. The stone giant rock speaker. These are the ones. And that didn't open at all, did it? Great. Let's try and find that again. Stone giant rock speaker. There we are. So stone giants practice rune magic more than others. Leaders, oracles. So here we go. Blazing red. Oh, radiant damage. Maybe that's better than psychic damage, you know. That might throw some things off. I quite like that, I think. And has the blinded condition. Interesting. Is that too powerful though? Is that too powerful? Prismatic rays. For each fruit, I roll a d6. Okay, so it's just random essentially. This is a really good baseline for us, actually, because this is the influence that I wanted. These things that are under the ground to be ancient and runic in power. I love that. Let's do it. Okay, so we're changing our main type to radiant for the red one, dreadful blue, and a sapping green, necrotic and force damage for the green. Now that's a powerful one for sure. So maybe because it's going to give us a few things, maybe we drop that down to 1d6 of damage, because we don't want this to be absolutely mental. And it's only dealing a d6 of radiant damage, but this is a glaive. Glaives deal 1d12, I want to say. Glaive damage. I don't know everything off the top of my head. Proof of it doesn't tell me here. Brilliant. Oh, 1d10. Yeah, 1d10. So that's quite strong. 1d10 is quite strong. Let's... Nah, 1d6 is just way easier to balance. A creature you hit with this weapon takes an extra 1d6 radiant damage. Perfect. So let's call this... It's called Blazing Red. We could go with Blazing Crimson. Blazing Light, Blazing Crimson. Don't know. Maybe Crimson Strike is fine. Don't overthink it. We can go through and rename things afterwards. It's the function of the item that we care about here. Does this thing just straight up do it? It just has the blind condition unless they succeed on a save. Interesting. Maybe we do that. But I want to make it a con save so that when this hits, it's not the most challenging thing to get over. I think that's probably good. Okay. So if we go, let's copy him. This is a good bit to copy just because it's, the text is good for us. Whoa, no, we don't want that. So when you hit on an attack roll made with this weapon, not you must make, the target must make a DC, it's a condition, blinded condition. And they might encounter something like this soon because it is only a rare weapon. They are level 5, I believe. So if we go and check out what the DCs are generally for save DC 15, 16, 15, 14. I think let's keep it on the balance side for now, just because this is kind of the weapon of the army. It wouldn't be too crazy, I don't think. When you're attacking with this weapon, you can choose. Maybe it's a choose. You can choose to attempt to target it. On a failed save, the creature is blinded until the end of its next turn. I think that's fair. That basically puts them at disadvantage very, very briefly. You can always tune these afterwards. But if it's every single time, it has unlimited uses. What's the challenge rate of this thing? 16. Good gosh. Okay. Let's drop this to 13. I think there's some guidance about saves somewhere. So if we... let's try and find that, shall we? It's probably in the DMG when making a spell, I think. Let's have a look. Here we go. One target, 1d10. But there's no... we kind of need to know how strong the blinded condition is here, really. Disadvantage on attacks. Is there anything at that level that does something similar? I wonder. Blinded automatically fails any ability checks that require sight. Not saving throws. So dex saves are fine. Attack rolls against the creature have advantage and the creature have disadvantage. It's quite strong. It's quite strong. But why wouldn't it be? It is the weapon of the army after all. Do we put a cap on this? I'm suddenly thinking, because this is... oh, but it's equipped by everyone in the army. We could make this scale with the user. So we do DC 14 con. This just means this is a weapon worth having then. Yeah. think we need to separate these out, and we'll give this a proficiency bonus count, I think. Proficiency bonus is a really good way to scale it with the characters as they kind of level up, basically. So let's give this, we won't give it a name. You can use this feature. I've forgotten the wording now. You can use this feature a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus. All expended uses reset, because we haven't got charges. We don't want to use those words. All expended uses reset after a long rest. Yeah, I think that sounds good. 1d6 radiant damage, always, essentially. You gain a climbing speed. It's pretty damn good. And when you hit an attacker with this weapon, the target must make a DC 14 Constitution saving throw. On a fail save, the creature is blinded until the end of its next turn. You can use this feature a number of times, equal to your proficiency. All expended uses. This needs to be you regain. And I know that just from experience, you regain all expended uses after a long rest. Perfect. I like that. I think that's a solid item. So now, we've kind of gone down a road here with the red crystals granting some kind of, I guess, movement buff. They deal radiant damage, and they can blind a target. So I guess what's a step up from being blinded would probably be like incapacitated straight up, or paralyzed perhaps. But we'll come back to that, because I think all the other crystals might fill those gaps. That's a really good baseline for us. This is just a standard kind of, I guess you would say, an elite guard's weapon. Within the city, they have these red crystals kind of on tap. So I think this is a good thing for someone to have. It'd probably be a high price on the black market for craft crystals. It is quite, socially, it's quite controlled, I think, for outside of like governmental use, things like that. So I think we're fine still on the stream. Yeah, looks good. How many crystals are there? Well, this is the thing. I haven't really decided yet, you know. It's a bit difficult to say because, again, I'm creating this world kind of as I go. I want my players to like help, basically. So it's kind of an interesting one, really. I don't have an exact number for you, to be honest. All I know at the moment is one for every god. But I wanted to do, let's see if I can find it. And this is why I love Notion, because you can search for anything. There is a cloud rune. Not there. I have a table on one of these pages. Recap. Nope, not the recap. Story crafting. There we go. So this is the... Let me throw this down somewhere. Where's my stream notes? Here we go. So actually, this is straight from the... what's the first giant book called? Storm King's Thunder. They actually had a list of how many runes there were and kind of some of their functions, basically. And I kind of wanted the craft crystals to kind of go hand in hand with traditional runes from Dungeons and Dragons. So I thought there could be basically a crystal for each one of these, but that's quite a lot. And I did want to do like a custom one for myself. So, for example, the clear one. And again, I don't know if any of my players are watching, but it doesn't matter. This will be essentially... It's soon going to be quite a powerful new form of craft crystal that's been discovered. And excuse me while I have a little biscuit. So I feel like a good number, Leslie, is like 7, 8, something like that. So that when... Yeah, take questions. Lead suit, fire away. Any questions you've got, fire away, mate. Excuse me, I'm eating on stream. Ridiculous, I know. So yeah, I wanted one for almost every single one of these. Clear. I think thunder damage is a shout. Oh, a cloudy. Oh, it could be cloudy though. That's nice. That's a nice effect. Like a thunderstorm in it, almost like maybe not a storm, just a weather front of sorts. Let's just move on to the next one, and we can just come back to this because we're going to be reiterating this. I'm going to keep reiterating these items, so we are literally in no rush. And again, this is the first stream. Hope it's going okay. I hope we like the vibes. So you're going to save your most potent effect for the clear then? I think so. And I say potent effect in a sense of I'm hoping that will be like one of the crystals that they acquire quite early on and they try to discover what it does, if that makes sense. I already know in my head what it does. Well, it's sort of. I haven't really decided. It's going to somewhat counter the big bad, counter some of their abilities and what they can do. But I'm thinking perhaps if they get their hands on it, the enemies, the baddies, the villains, perhaps they use it for something else, which is why I had this idea that perhaps it's like a resonant crystal and it goes off a creature's like alignment or how they feel about it, like what they're trying to use it for. It resonates, whatever that is. If they're trying to do good, a good spell will be better when cast through it. Or if they're a paladin and they're maintaining their oath, perhaps it grows in power as they do, basically. Almost like an artifact type weapon. But yeah, the lead suit, if you did have any questions, please fire away. I actually can't see how many views I've got on YouTube, only my Twitch ones. So I'm just going to go and have a quick peek. Peek-a-rooney. Oh, 3. Cute. Thank you, guys. But let's move on. I'm kind of happy with the Crimson Craft Glaive there. I think that's a decent item. And again, this all just requires balances. Sometimes I've crafted stuff and given it to my players and immediately regretted it, basically. So we will see. Let's go to creations. And again, this is like a worked version of the crystal. What does the actual crystal do? We don't know. You're playing a second campaign that is starting tonight. What's the theme of the campaign? What is the theme of the campaign? I need to know. Is it Curse of Strahd? Is it a homebrew? Is it very whimsical? I need a little bit more info, if that's okay. It's starting tonight. Kind of thinking about playing a female. Well, good luck, by the way. Female Goliath Wizard. I feel like I need more information. You can play whatever you want. I mean, should we do it? Let's do it live. Why not? Female Goliath Wizard. We can generate some. Let's open up ChatGPT. We love ChatGPT. Right, here we go. We'll do... Let's create a character. Again, there's no structure to this stream, so, you know, we just do it. We're going at it. Sure, we'll turn on all the optionals. We love that. Jeff. Perfect. Female Goliath Wizard. Goliath. There we are. So what do they have? Humanoid, medium, 30 feet, precision athletics. You can carry stuff. Resistance to cold damage, that's solid. Yeah, and stone's endurance. I don't think they'd be a lot of people's first choice for a wizard, but there's absolutely no reason why you can't. Since Tasha's has been introduced, you can play any character as anything, to be honest. Yeah, I think it depends kind of on the world, really, a little bit, as to what you're trying to accomplish with the character. If I go, I'm playing a Goliath Wizard. I haven't got the setting yet from you, but I'm playing a Goliath wizard in a D&D campaign. In 10 words, give me some character inspiration. Let's see what it comes up with. Goliath wizard seeks ancient runes to master elemental magic defying tradition. Incredible. So what you've got there is a backstory for your people. They are traditional runic Goliaths, perhaps. Perhaps they are how could you put it? Perhaps they just don't particularly enjoy magic, or they're all warlocks maybe, and it comes innately. They serve a particular creature, a particular god, a particular elemental. But you have taken it a step further and want to study that magic. It's funny that giants and runes have come into this. And it was what? Elemental magic. Homebrew, classic fantasy. Okay, cool. Classic fantasy, that makes me think just normal D&D, basically. Pretty heroic stuff. Or is it more like down-to-earth Lord of the Rings vibes? I think... Oh, thank you for the follow, TGS Anime. Oh, nice to see you, Sam. You could go for... Oh, that could be quite fun. Gravaturgy magic. She strikes me as an oracle kind of vibe. Okay, oracle. Well, an oracle kind of vibe. That does work, actually, because when I think of Goliath, I think of like... I think of giants, which to me is like TPs and runes and scrying. I love that. Oracle, right? Perfect. So then divination. It's got to be, right? Divination or transmutation, perhaps. Transmutation could be a shout. Molding things into other things. But I think divination is a good one, because you could portent, and you could use... Oh, I forget what there's a spell that does the same thing as portent, but not as good. The wheel or woe one. Spell, wheel or woe. Augury. There you go. Second level spell. Perfect. So you definitely pick that up. You probably, you know what? You probably get it as a divine wizard. Expert divination. What does that get you? Don't know. What you could do is pick up one of the new feats, Rune Shaper. Maybe that could help a little bit. But Oracle's fun. An Oracle's really fun. There was in Mythic Odysseys of Theros, one of the first campaigns I ever played. I made a homebrew in the world. Where is it? Where is Theros? Why is it not there? Have they removed it from this page? Oh my gosh, it's not there. That's terrible. Theros is awesome, man. Why is that not on the main page? Theros is a really good, really good book. Would highly recommend it. There are oracles in this world. They are here. There you go. That's a vibe. That is a vibe. I feel like it's a good shout. There you go. Augury, scrying. Yeah, so you want to 7th level. Let's go. It's starting at 7th level. That's an extreme campaign. I'm happy for you, dude. That means you're just chilling from the start. Expert divination. What does that do? You regain a spell slot when you cast a divination spell of 2nd level or higher. That's really useful for just continuous power, essentially. So yeah, so Rune Shaper, you could lean into it like a backstory of it a little bit. I feel like an oracle, you could still use runes and augury and portents and things like that, throw in, bones out on the floor, whatever it might be. And then you could pick up something here. So let's go intelligence. And we get 3 spells, perhaps. Again, I don't know anything about your character. I'm just throwing some words out there. They've become an oracle, or were they always destined to be an oracle? But perhaps your tribe are more runic in nature. So you would have this base power in runic magic that comes up with you. Armor of Agathis, really cool one. Kind of explains your resistance to cold damage, perhaps. Not a spell you can usually get, I don't think, as a wizard, which is fun. You could go for disguise self, doesn't make much sense. I think sanctuary kind of works. That's quite fun, I think. You ward a creature. Yeah, warding a creature, that kind of works. I like that. And Longstrider would be good for traveling. You could cast Longstrider on somebody and wish them well if you're an oracle. Give them a bit more movement speed. Try and not change their future as such, but give them a boon of sorts. That might be fun. Let's go with that. I don't know. Just throwing things out there now. Rune Shaper as a feat. We'll go standard. Did I even pick? Oh, I did pick a race. Let's go probably a 2 and a 1. Intelligence, got to be our highest. You're a Goliath. I feel like you'd be quite constitutional. Dex, strength. Let's go with that. Pretty standard stuff. We'll double into con, 1 into intelligence. That makes for a pretty good character. Pretty good, I reckon. 16 in both constitution and intelligence. Pretty good. It doesn't matter what language. Let's just pick anything. You are a member of a little tribe. Uthgard tribe member. What does that give us? Survival? Sure. Doesn't matter about the other stuff right now. Probably performance. If you're an oracle, you'd be performing for people. You'd be oracleizing. What's it called? Predicting the future. Providing portents. Let's go with bagpipes. Sure, that's fun, right? I feel like a flute's a bit more mysterious. Lovely. And there's a character for you. I think it's a good idea. I like the idea. Without knowing much about the world, it's hard to advise any further, though, you know? But for sure, I'm sure it's going to be a fun campaign starting at level 7. Can you give me like a 5-word preface of what it's actually about? So we don't get any spells as standard. That's right, because we're a wizard and we can learn anything. So you want to go for divination spells, basically. Locate creature, yeah, that's always fun. Locate creature is a great spell. Divination, Dimension Door's too good to pass up. Let's pick a few more. You know what? We can go back to homebrewing now, probably. I hope that's helped in some regard. And there you go. There will forever be a Goliath wizard named Jeff in my characters. So, you're welcome. Where were we? We don't need the workshop. It might be worth us making a list as well of what spells are associated with specific crystals, perhaps, that we were crafting or looking into. Let's go back to our homebrew creations. And we'll go back to our rock speaker here. So dreadful blue, necrotic and frightened. We'll steal that. I'm down with that. I think it'll throw people off, these colours, to be honest with you. Where is it? Dreadful blue. So maybe we stay away from this gem type thing. Dreadful blue. Dread blue. Awful. Lapis. Don't know. Blue for now. Blue crystal. Necrotic damage. I wouldn't expect that. So I think her secret is she died. Interesting. So her brother has kind of given himself up to revive her. Is the brother going to be in the campaign as well? She wants to break him free from that pact. What are some other goals? I love, just for those watching after the fact that I can't see the chat, Lead Suit is asking about his Oracle Wizard. Tell him a bit about the backstory. She wants to break her brother free from the pact that he made with a fiend to revive them. What are some other goals they could have? I always default, to Explorer's Guide to Wild Map, because they have this heroic chronicle in here. Where is it? Where's the character creation? I'm going crazy. Where is it? That's odd. Why can't I see it? There it is, Heroic Chronicle. Going crazy. So you can actually find some really good fateful moments. And it can give you some items, but it can also just essentially give you a story point to go on almost. I tell you what, if you want to do it live, you could roll a d20 and we'll see what you get on this little list here. And you could just give this to your DM and say, this is something I want to put into my character. Or we can give you a fateful moment, which is a bit more of a strong thing. Or you can just roll a d100 and we can give you perhaps a connection to a particular kind of creature. It's got really good things like rival relationships and ally relationships, just so you can build out your character a little bit, how you are with your family, things like that. It's all on random rolling tables. It's really, really good. I love it. Anyway, I use it every single time I make a character, basically just to get some ideas going. So if you want to roll any dice, let me know the number and perhaps one of these things. Explain the crystals. Well, here's the thing. We don't know yet. That's kind of the point. That's what I'm doing today. So we're crafting them basically. The crystals it's a type of thing called a craft crystal, and it's kind of the gimmick of my world, the gimmick magic item, the gimmick thing. And the history of them is, as I'm aware, but the players aren't yet, is that giants once inhabited the little world that they're on. Your friend is playing the brother. Amazing. That's great. Fantastic. I feel like you've got enough there. Maybe don't overcomplicate it, Maybe just stick with that. And if you've got any ideas afterwards, like more family members, maybe go down that route then. But so the crystals, it's just kind of, we're trying to decide what they do. We're doing it live, basically. They're not going to encounter many of them very quickly. They're only encountered the red one for now. But I do think this blue one does excite me a little bit. I think in the new book, the Fandelver book, which I have behind me, I'm going to go and grab it. There is there's stones that like sorcery stones. And I think there might be some inspiration there as well. Let's go and have a look. About there. 1 second. I stubbed my toe on the way back over. It really hurts, but it's fine. So I have the Shattered Obelisk book. I don't actually have it on D&D Beyond yet. Haven't bought it because I'm not made of money, unfortunately. But there are some items in here. Where is it? I'm going mad. Here we go. Magic items. Very small section at the back. Yeah, so they have these crystals. It's so weird. Whenever I make anything in D&D, in the next book, there's something really similar to it, and I'm like, is somebody watching my videos or hacking my mind or something? It's frustrating when they do something that... D20 roll was 8. Let's go. Which one do we want, I guess? Let's just... Well, we can choose. We can do whatever we want. Mysterious secret, number 8. I once saw an enormous figure walking through the clouds on a stormy night. At one point, they looked at me and then kept walking. There you go. There's one for you. That's pretty good. Eh? That's pretty good, I reckon. Or a fateful moment. While on a long journey, you were picked up by a travelling circus. Spending a year with them before... Don't use that one. Don't use that. It doesn't sound like the vibe. Use the other one. And the D100. I forgot why we even roll the D100. Oh, yeah. So you could pick an identity of a creature. 94. A blood hunter. Gives you a fateful moment too. So maybe you know a blood hunter type character, like a monster hunter, a bounty hunter. Or we could go for a rival in your life. This person wants to be your friend, but their help has always made life harder. Or you could have an ally. This person owes you their life. Even if they can't follow you everywhere you go, they will do anything they can to protect you. So basically a really good friend. Someone you saved in a past life, perhaps. There's some inspiration for you. Hopefully that helped. I think the first one is the best, to be honest with you. You saw a figure walking in the sky. Maybe that's a way to make your doubt your wizarding skills, your intelligence. It doesn't make sense, but you know you saw something. Maybe you're trying to spend your whole life trying to explain that. Maybe that's why you're an oracle now. You're trying to predict what that might have been, what that is. But so, the blue crystal, it does not say what the blue crystal does. They're just mind crystals. Damn. And all it does is just add a sorcery thing, basically. Distant spell, empowered spell, extended spell, subtle spell. That's not quite what I wanted. We could use them as that, though. We could throw those in there. That might make it quite fun. I think it might be quite fun actually for the red one to be the empowered one. When you roll damage for a spell, you can re-roll up to 3 damage dice. You must use the new rolls. But we could make it so that a red crystal kind of permanently gives you that. Yes, the crystals do vary in power, I think. Some of them will just be more utility than just straight damage, I think. But we do need a downside for them as well, to be honest. So unique gives you a climbing speed. Downside, we don't know yet. We'll do downsides last, perhaps. And maybe the downsides only come in when they become a bit more powerful. That's probably fair, I think. Condition that they apply. I'm not showing the right screen. Bear with me. Notion. Not notion. Jesus. Condition. Blinded. So let's find the blue one. Here we go. So blue crystal. So they are things that are mined essentially, but they're just ancient giant remnants basically from a giant society of the past. So I think some would be rarer than others for sure. Yeah. So what can it give you that's unique? Not a climbing speed. Blue, you think of the water, but let's throw that out the window. Let's maybe say, what do other necrotic creatures do? Creatures that attack with a necrotic essence. What do they do? What's the thing they apply? They make things frightened, but I don't really like. I think the frightened condition is kind of boring, to be honest with you. I'm not a huge fan of it. Sometimes it just doesn't make sense in my mind. But let's go and look for some inspiration from some monsters that deal necrotic damage. Perhaps ones that are vulnerable to necrotic. That could be fun. Let's filter. Oh my god, is that literally it? That can't be right. Let's partnered content. These are the only 2 things in all of D&D that are vulnerable to necrotic. Is that right? That's madness. It's just a radiant thing. Undying Soldier. Perhaps wielding one of these weapons grants you immunity to exhaustion. That's quite a... I mean, it's not... my players don't get exhausted very often, so... what things are immune to necrotic? That might give us a good idea of what we're after. A Serarak. Oh, I don't have it. One of the few books I don't have. Aeorian Absorber, what can they do? Oh, magic resistance. That could be really strong. Mind Bolt, Pounce, Tail Ray. Oh, you know, it would be quite... This could be quite fun, this effect. When you take damage from a spell, if you're wielding a blue crystal, perhaps it absorbs half of the damage. And then maybe you can shoot it. I like that. I like that a lot. Let's go with that. So its unique thing is like spell reflection, I guess. That feels way better than climbing speed though, doesn't it? But maybe we go with that. It doesn't give you, can't grant a condition on a hit or something because it's much more powerful than the climbing speed one. I think I like that. I think I like that. And again, I was showing the wrong thing. I need a switcher for sure. Dreadful. Life Drain. Interesting. When you use it, you heal 1d6 or 2d6, something like that, perhaps. I really like... maybe if we look up a Beholder, you know, maybe that might be able to help us a little bit. Because their eye rays might be able to inspire us a touch here. Death Ray. We could add that onto it. The target dies if the ray reduces them to 0 hit points. They could be like disintegrated. I think perhaps maybe with the blue one there needs to be a trade-off. It's kind of an innovation type thing, yeah. Must make a DC con save, take 8d8 necrotic damage. So what's the difference between that and Death Ray? It's just more powerful. Oh, it's dexterity as opposed to constitution. Interesting. I've never run a Beholder before. Very keen to do that. I've never actually done that. Oh, anti-magic field as well. That could be a madness. If we say the blue one is like anti-spellcasters, that could be amazing, couldn't it? There's an anti-magic field on you. You can activate that for a turn, maybe. Let's keep it simple. Spell reflection and nothing else. I like that. So if we maybe make a blue staff and blue quarterstaff, this can be our first kind of application of the crystal. Or maybe no, maybe something even more defensive. Maybe a shield or some armor imbued with it, perhaps. I don't want everything to be a weapon, you know. But if we stick to like a theme with them, I think I want the crystals to have better names than just like crimson. I don't know. Dreadful blue, blazing red. I kind of like that vibe, you know. Blazing glaive. Let's go with that. Again, these are very unimportant things that I'm changing here. Let's go with some armor. What type of creature would want to deal necrotic damage? It doesn't really matter. I think I quite like the idea of a shield. Arrow catching. What have we got already? So we've got the spell reflection one, I think. Spell guard shield. Let's go with the arrow turning one. because I think some of the words that we want will be good for this. Blah blah blah. This is a strong shield. Another +2. Jeez. That's fun. It's like an absorbent. I like that. I like that. Where did we had it was an absorber, wasn't it? Absorber. So Aurora and absorber. We've really not got a lot done today, have we? When the absorber takes damage from a spell, half the triggering damage. Let's just copy and paste all of this goodness into here. And we're gonna. This is our kind of baseline essentially for what we want to get out of it. So we want the spell guard wording as well. Spell guard shield. Ting. We'll take that. Thank you very much. And we can just steal all this wording and make an item of our own. Right. I don't want it to give a +2. That's crazy powerful. It's only rare. This bonus is in addition. That's fine. Let's save where we are. I'm going to change this name to the Dreadful Shield. Doesn't really work, does it? Blue. And then this is where we try and find another word for a sapphire. A Logan sapphire. That's quite nice. Something inspiring. The Lazul shield. Lapis shield. Trace amounts of these things. Vanadium, magnesium, boron. A variety of the mineral corundum. Sure. Let's call it the Corin shield. Corin shield? There you go. The Eye of Sharvek. Is that an item idea or a different one? Just for something red related. The Eye of Sharvek. I'm going to write it down there. Item name ideas. I always need these things. I always overthink the item name. I need to come up with who Sharvek is now, though. That's the thing you didn't think about. Giving me more work to do. Yeah, so I'm going to call this the Corin Shield. Sure. Corin Shield. Corin Shield. I like that. That will do. It's a +1. Whenever the attacker makes a ranged attack against a target within 5 feet of you, makes a ranged spell attack. You can use your reaction because the target. No. Let's just go with this wording with the absorber. So when you take damage from a spell while wielding the shield, allows the user to enter their own mind as if it was a library. That's a mental item. Crazy. That's like there is an item that you can make your own space. Make your own space. Not an item, a spell. You can make your own fortress. Scanlan does it all the time in Critical Role. Whenever you take damage from a spell while wielding this magical shield, while donning, perhaps, is probably a better thing to say. No. Oh, how do I redo? Oh no. There we go. I forgot the shortcut. We take damage spell while wielding this magical shield. You only take half the triggering damage. If the spell cast, I don't need to type it out. Cerulean. Oh, Cerulean. Yeah, that's a good shout actually. Cerulean. Cerule. Corn shield, cerule shield. Corn. I'm going to stick with corn for this one. I'm going to write down in Notion, cerulean. That could even be a different type of craft crystal, you know, with similar but not exactly the same effects, maybe. A diluted version. If the spellcaster is within 60 feet, I like that effect. Means it's not just unlimited range. Oh, that's really good though. If the spellcaster is within 60 feet, you can force the caster to make a DC 16. That feels high. If we put this on the same level as that glaive, yeah, if we put this on the same level as that glaive, so DC 14 dex, so the dex saves are usually a bit higher for creatures. Unless the save succeeds, the task takes the other half of the damage. That's really good because that's not even a ranged spell attack or anything. This is just straight up, like, you know, just happens basically. Advantage on saving throws against spell and other magic effects. Nah, that's too good, is what that is. Let's just save where we are there. What? That's not good. It broke. That's fine though. That's fine. We saved it. All good. How does this not have a modifier? It should have had a +2 modifier, right? Bonus. Armor class 1. Details. Wow. Just save that. So shield gives you +2, gives you +1. Oh, against ranged attacks only. That's why. I think a +1 shield is fair for a rare weapon. So we'll stick with that. When you take damage from a spell with this magic shield, you only take half the triggering damage. If the spellcaster is within 60 feet, you can force the caster to make a DC 40 dex save. Let's go. You can... Same spiel as before. You can use this feature a number of times, equal to your proficiency bonus. All expended uses. When you finish a long rest. So you can't just spam it, basically. But this would give you a really solid baseline for defense against spells. So perhaps the creatures that use the blue gems for the most part. A spell reflection, which makes sense because I'm going to just assume you get these primarily like in the ocean, in an ocean type space, because I was going to liken them to Tanithus, the storm, which is my very inspired by Demon Souls, my manta ray like God, the King of the Storm from King of the Storm from Demon Souls, if anybody knows it. King of the Storm, not the Nameless King. What's his name in Demon Souls? I feel like I'm sure it was King of the Storm. Oh, just the Storm King. Sorry, same thing. Same difference. Same difference. Because that thing pings ranged attacks at you from God knows where, doesn't it? So that's quite fun. Maybe resistance to necrotic damage as well. No, it deals necrotic damage. It makes sense to give resistance to. we kind of have to set a baseline with what we expect from each item, how powerful we want it to be. So this gives you a +1 bonus to AC and resistance to necrotic damage. Quite strong. That is quite strong, not going to lie. Again, we can revisit it. That's fine. I'm happy with that. So we'll save that up. We need to add another modifier. And this would be a resistance to necrotic. Lovely. I think that's the item dealt with. DC 14 so many times. Yeah, I don't have to deal with the charges. That's fine. Very good. I think it's strong, but it's not crazy because the spell has to be within 60 feet, which if you're being sniped at by like Eldritch Blasts or Firebolts or whatever, that's not actually too bad. 14 dex save. That might need bumping a little bit. Then spellcasters, do spellcasters have good dex saves? I don't think so. I don't think they do. Awesome. So we have the Blazing Glaive, the Corin Shield. Let's call it something better. The dreadful thing, the Dread Shield works way better. Mage Dread. There's another word for a mage. Mage. Seer No Nim. We love it. What we got? Conjurer, Enchanter, Shaman, Sorcerer. Sorcerer. Sorcerer's Dread. Maybe that could be a buffed version. That's a good idea. A better shield than that one. This is the basic one. But perhaps a boss type enemy could have something with a little more oomph about it. Like perhaps the reflection ignores resistances, maybe. Something along those lines. I need to write this down. Notes about blue. Sorcerer's Dread, something along those lines. Sorcerer's Dread. Upgraded shield. Ignores resistances. Or doubles damage once, something like that maybe. Yeah. We could have a trident be one of the blue ones, because it's going to be like out in the... So let's change this to spell absorption. That's its kind of primary ability. Item name, Eye of Sharvek. It's in there. I love it. The Dread. Blue Dread. Depth Dread. Mage Dread. Sorcerer Dread. No, I don't know. Hard to say. Maybe Shardred. Shardred? Shardred? Shaman Dread. Shardred Shield. Shardred Shield. It's a bit of a mouthful. It's kind of funny. I like it. We'll go with that. Awesome. So now we've got a blue crystal that does something as well. The blue craft. We love to see it. I'm still showing you Notion, aren't I? I am. Let's come back to D&D Beyond. Lovely. This is so we don't have to deal with charges too, because they're a pain on D&D Beyond. Right, what I think we'll do, just because the time's getting on a bit now. I didn't know how long I'd be going. We're going for an hour and a half now. Not that I've been chatting for that long, but we'll do one more. I do need to get the cloudy one out the way, but we're still in the base form of these things. Let's go with... The characters are going to come up against Magnora the Dawn, which is a bear type, guardian type creature, but they wield gold and light and things like that. But we could throw them off. Crimson being the radiant one now. So topaz and gold. Oh, that could deal necrotic damage though. That would really put a spanner in the works. If the perceived good guys of the world dealt necrotic damage as standard. I feel like it needs to be force damage. because we only have so many types, don't we? Only so many things we can do. Psychic, perhaps. Damage types. Let's have a look. Let's remind ourselves what we've got. Could be just like extra slashing damage. Thunder. A golden lightning type thing could be good. Or fire. I mean, straight up fire. That feels very... Yeah, that feels very good guy-ish, doesn't it? Fire damage. Golden lightning or golden fire? What do we think? You know, I don't know. What looks cooler? Love a good Google. Gold lightning. Gold lightning is pretty cool. It's very very King Ghidorah. But there is a dragon type folk. Maybe I want to save green lightning for them. Yep. Golden fire. Golden fire. I'm going to save emerald is going to be like a green lightning. That will be unique and good fun. Thoughts on one of these items giving stat boosts like +1 or +2 to a stat that makes sense for the item? I think just because these are only rares, I think stat boosts really, for me, that would be a bit harder to earn. So the shield gives an extra 1 to AC, which is solid because AC just falls off like a truck when you get to it at some point, you know. I don't think I would consider a stat boost until we got to at least a very rare item. I don't think. I mean, we could, again. So this, I would just let's do some market research. I guess I always go back to the Critical Role books just because obviously it started out as homebrew, right? And then they had to balance it for normal play essentially. So if we go to some of the magic items of Wildmount and see what they do. So let's have a look at one of them that does actually increase. So even these ones don't do, you know, a +1 bonus to AC. This is a legendary item. +1 bonus to AC is pretty damn good. This obviously also gives a few other things, but if we go to perhaps the Storm Girdle, I'm pretty sure this changed. Yeah. Strength score becomes 21. That's a legendary item. Perhaps for this golden fire thing, maybe we can do that now. Maybe we can come up with something that is a bit more, got a bit more oomph about it. So a bit more insight, I guess, into the world I've created. Am I sharing the right one? Yes, I am. They worship Magnura the Dawn, which is a bear type creature. So I feel like that, to me, that evokes strength and power and an iron fist, you know. And there's these group of people called the Magnan Vigil, and the Magnan Vigil are kind of they're the Royal Guard. They're the top dogs amongst the army, which is known as the Dawn Guard. So the Magnan Vigil would go out. They would be emissaries, but very powerful characters. I'm thinking like Mythic Odysseys of Theros is a really good place to go again for this. So if we go, let's just find anywhere in the book. There's these creatures called, what are they called? They are called, not Woe Striders. Jeez, I'm literally going crazy here. Archons. Now I'm thinking each member of the Magnan Vigil could be this kind of power. Archon of Falling Stars. So they ride giant lions through the sky. They have bright golden armor. I really like this giant sickle. That's fantastic. I think that's a really good vibe. A white fire could be good, is what I'm thinking now as well. Yeah, we're changing. We're changing. Oh, I couldn't even see. Sharing the wrong screen again. Let me switch over. Here we go. This is an Archon. This is what I'm talking about. Oh. Something like that, you know? So that's what the Magnan Vigil is in my world. Something on this kind of level. So perhaps they can cast Guiding Bolt. That's a great shout. Spirit Gardens, magic resistance. A Radiant Spear, see the, yeah. So we could do Spear, or we could do a Sickle. I think I like the idea of that Sickle. That's inspired me there quite a lot. So let's go back to our stream notes and we'll go. So Topaz Gold is fire, but it's like a white fire. Almost like the opposite of Black Flame from Elden Ring. What does it do that's unique? Let's go back to the conditions, or maybe let's look at what can these guys do anything. Radiant Rebirth. They spring back with a burst of radiance. Maybe something like this. They can bring down like comets, like a white fire comet perhaps. Let's have a look. Ashen Rider. What else can these guys do? I think definitely Ashen Blade. Here we go. This is the kind of thing we want. Bolt of Ash. Range spell attack. Oh yeah, the fire, like, oh, it just burns everything around it. Turns to ash around it. That's amazing. Damage immunities, thunder. Interesting. Let's start throwing something together. And I really need to remember to switch, or I need to just share my window. I think I'll just share my entire screen next time. I was just worried about things that showing up that shouldn't be, or whatever, you know, my passwords and shit. Aura of Silence. The creature can't speak and is deafened. That's so powerful. I've got it. Their weapons silence people. That is it. Yeah, and lucky for me, I actually homebrewed a weapon that does exactly that already. Baldur's Gate 3. I never got to record the shorts, but I've done the work. Let me sort this. Here we go. Susses. I should really record the shorts for these, shouldn't I? It'll take me like 2 seconds. I'll do it. We'll start with the... I've already done a sickle as well. We love it. But we want it to be a big old sickle. So we'll probably start at a greatsword. Yep, let's do that. So, a good thing you can do if you've already made something, just don't do the work again. Great sword. Not crystal, not dark moon. Oh gosh, where is it? Susa, there we are. And this is the Ashen Blade. Yep. Let's go very rare. We could maybe even put a stat increase on this. That could be a shout. And I think I want this to, because greatsword is 2d6, right? Weapon types. I just want a table. All the weapons, please. It's not going to show me either, is it? 2d6 is probably fine, rather than 1d12. I think 2d6 is good. Let's open up the Archon once again. Lantern Archon. What are these from? What are all they? Oh, are they from Planescape? Oh, Hound Archon. He looks amazing. Oh my gosh. I love him. Looks great. Yeah, one of these. Archon of Falling Stars. Let me just open the source book again though, because way more useful. Archons. Perfect. And let's steal some work from here. Dogs for the win. Not kidding. Not kidding, mate. Not kidding at all. They're amazing. If you don't know, I am actually getting a puppy myself soon. There's some news for you. To all the subs out there. There will be a dog in my life very, very soon. I'm getting an Australian cattle dog. Don't know if anyone knows what they are. We'll show you. They're downright adorable. Look at this. Look at these. Look at this. Top dog content. This is what you came here for, right? I'll show you a puppy and then we'll stop. We'll stop. Look. Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm so excited. A sticker for £49? I don't think so. Look at this creature. Buzzing. Anyway, back to the item. Apologies. Sidetrack there. Aura of Silence. We don't want an aura. We want on hit silence. That is what we want. It's going to have a +1. Yes, silence when you hit this. There. Silence till the start of your next turn. That's harsh, but really strong, because we essentially have to miss. What exactly is the silenced condition? Wait, didn't I write it on the item? Any creature is immune to thunder damage, is deafened, and can't cast any spell that includes a verbal component. There'll only ever be one of these on the battlefield, I think. Yeah. This is going to be a very strong weapon. A very strong weapon. So this is the Ashen. What's another name for maybe we just call it a scythe straight up. Semicircular blade. Sickle, not meaning synonym, please. To cut, reap, hook, reaper. Oh, the Ashen Reaper. Now that is a weapon name. Here for it. Cool. So we have the silence effect. That's already there. Let's save that. How often do I do these brainstorm sessions? This is my first one, the lead suit. This is my first stream. Welcome. Literally my first ever stream. Although I am thinking about doing it a lot more often. I wanted to just kind of see how this went. This is kind of a test stream, to be honest. So if you enjoyed it, then I'll be back for sure. I'm not sure how often. But I would love to do it more often. Yeah, I can talk all day about dogs and D&D, so this kind of works for me, you know? It's really weird the chat on here is covered by like a heart icon, so I can't quite see what you said. Are you going to have a saving throw versus effect? I'm not sure quite what that means, Leslie. Could you elaborate? A saving throw versus effect. Oh, no. So that's why this is going to be super strong. So in Baldur's Gate 3, I don't know if you've played it, the Sousa daggers, the Sousa weapons, literally silence on hit. So strong. So incredibly strong. And I think I want to commit to that because it's just a one target thing. I feel like it will... Whoever has a weapon like this, and it won't be easy to get one. This is a very rare weapon. This is going to be like top tier. Not quite, I don't think quite legendary, but very, well, maybe it should be. Maybe it should be legendary. That's a shame. Baldur's Gate 3 is fantastic, but regardless, they have these weapons in it. And even in that, it's strong, but it's not too strong. But I'm wondering whether that's just the video game sense that makes it not too bad, basically. But yeah, it's strong. It's really, really, really strong. But perhaps we could bring a bit of Baldur's Gate 3 over into here, and we could put Susa trees in there. Susa roots extend from the earth. This yearns to drink magic, silencing every creature it strikes. When drawn, maybe you can activate the fire on it, kind of like a flame tongue. We want it to deal fire damage. We'll call it a scythe, because it's a giant sickle, essentially. To this magical... We'll call it a sickle. I'm just thinking out loud. But yeah, the lead to, if you did want to see these brainstorming sessions more regularly, let me know. Happy to jump on. This is kind of honestly what I spend a lot of my evenings doing anyway. So I do this for my own games as well as for like video ideas and such like that. So maybe everyone that tunes in can help out. So I don't have to do all the work. It'd be great. We're going to call it White Fire. So let's take some Dark Souls stuff, because we have Black Flame, right? Black Flame, Elden Ring, Black Flame Blade. What was it called in previous Tings? What can we take from the Godskin stuff? What? It's just damage over time, right? It's a bit... Damage over time is a bit weird in D&D. I'm not sure I'm a huge fan of it. I think silence is good. If I just search White Flame, because that's what it's going to be. It's going to be White Flame. Not what we're after. Ashen Flame, Ash Flame, Ash Flame. Yeah, we like that. We like that. Kind of like is it Sister Frida vibes from... Yeah. Sister Frida. I think this is the vibe we want. Let's kill that. It also seems like the chat is really delayed. I usually send something and you get it like 2 minutes later. Oh. That's a shame. I am also streaming on Twitch, so if you have that, maybe try on there. But if they're taking White Flame, yes, we love it. Ignores resistances. I think straight up ignores resistances. This isn't like any old flame, you know. This is White Flame, Ash Flame. I'm sorry about the delay. All apologies. I'm not sure why. I am kind of hacking my way through doing a multi-stream. So perhaps I'll prioritize YouTube instead over Twitch. I just know that Twitch's tools are generally a bit better. I'm not using Streamlabs or anything like that. Maybe once we've got a couple of subscribers, like online or whatever, once I can set up a Patreon maybe to kind of, you know, fuel that kind of thing. Maybe I can start using Streamlabs. Maybe that's an option. So sorry about the delay anyway for now. I've only dropped 0.1% of my frames on my end apparently. So yeah, we want Sister Frida's weapon, basically. This is what we're trying to make. Sister Frida's weapon. What's it called? Frida's Great Scythe. Here we go. Oh, she got 2 of them. Let's go. What does it do? Deals cold damage, right? Pretty sure. Yeah. A white flame that deals cold damage. Nah, I like the fire idea. Ash flame. So let's say this weapon straight up just does more damage. 2d6 and silences. Gosh, that's strong. We'll roll with it. I want my players to be challenged. So this is what we want, basically. Ashen blade. Ash flame. Yeah, it works. Sounds like ass, though. Ashen flame. Let's go with that. A white searing. We're going to go get the flame tongue longsword stuff. That's what we're going to go and do. We're going to copy this straight up, stealing that. Use your bonus action to speak these magic words. Magic. Let's go weapon, in case it's not always a sickle. Causing flames to erupt, causing white flames to erupt from the blade. These flames to blah 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 blah. I don't care about that bit. The light, obviously it does. While the sword is ablaze, it does an extra 2d6 fire damage to any target it hits. Blah 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 blah. How do we go about ignoring resistances? What's the wording on that? Ignoring? Literally. We might be able to find an item that says it. Maybe the storm girdle does, you know. Just had this brainwave that the storm girdle item, you can attack with lightning and ignore resistance. Dare I say? No. Lead suit. See you next time. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for joining. Really appreciate it. Maybe see you next time. And if you do want to see another brainstorming session, I'm sure we'll be here. So we'll bold that up. Bonus action to speak the word, blah, blah, blah. 2d6 fire damage to any target it hits. Comma, this damage also ignores any resistances. Yeah, there you go. Lovely. And I think they are immune to thunder, but they are built different. Perhaps for a player picking up this weapon, it could give them resistance to thunder damage. So what could we call that ability? Unshakable. Unshakable. Good song. I forget who it's by. Tom something and the brass horn. Don't know. Can't remember the name of the band. Unshakable. Unwavering, perhaps. You are resistant to thunder damage and cannot be moved. Does fire immunity still apply? This damage also ignores any resistances. There are weapons that work like this already that say it ignores resistances and does half damage to... I forget the wording exactly though. Maybe I can improvise it. While the sword is ablaze, it does an extra 2d6 fire damage to any target it hits. This damage also ignores any resistances. And creatures with immunity take half damage instead. I feel like that reads okay. Yeah. There you go. Solid. The flames last to you, the command word, whatever. We don't care about the command word. Here's the thing, do we want it to just do that forever, or do we want to force people to use a bonus action? I think it's quite dramatic using a bonus action to speak the word, you know? You are resistant to thunder damage and cannot be removed against your own will. There is I think there is an item in this book, once more, that does literally this. Oh, D&D Beyond always save an element on death fleet if fire is a thing. Yeah, 100%. Absolutely. That's the kind of thing. When you get to very rare and legendary, I feel like you need to step it up. And you know what? This could be too powerful, but in a homebrew game, I'm not too worried. You know, I can balance it how I like. I can just make the next encounter more difficult, can't I? Don't tell my players that, though. Do not tell them that. There is... I'm sure I've literally seen an item very recently that means you can't be moved. I always want to make sure I get the wording right, but I'm not too bad at it off the gate, I don't think. I can't find it. Maybe I can literally search the... Okay, you cannot be moved. If an effect moves you against your will... Oh, here we go. Perfect. There you go. Exactly. Here you go. That's the effect we want. Right there from the Black Earth Guard. We love critical roll. So you're resistant to thunder damage. And when you would be subjected to an effect that would move... Oh gosh. Move. Knock you prone or both. You can... You're resistant to thunder damage, cannot... And... Oh god, what's happened here? And if you are... There we go. The wording's almost there. That would move, knock you prone, or both. You can use... Why are they green? Can I... If you had to remove formatting from something, just paste it into your bar at the top. I find that works the best. Because formatting can really mess up D&D Beyond. There you go. Use your... It's a reason to use it. It's good action economy. Actually makes it a little less powerful if you use all your actions to make it work. Use your action to be neither moved nor knocked prone. Amazing. Unwavering. We love that. What an item. Oh my gosh. What an item. So it's got a +1. We don't need to do anything there. Conditions deafened 1 round. Yes. Anything else we need to add here? Yes, the fire damage. So modifiers. Add a modifier. Damage. Fire. 2d6. Oops. Not a fixed value. Dice count 2d6. Details. What did I call it? Ashen Flame. It's not a restriction so much, just... Yeah, okay, so that needs to say while Ashen Flame is active. While Ashen Flame is active. Perfect. So it's up permanently. Should we set a time limit on it, do we think? Maybe a minute? A minute. No combats last more than a minute anyway. Right. The Ashen Reaper. A giant, excuse the French, fuck off scythe. Susa roots extend from this. There's no hilt. What is the handle of a handle? What is the handle of a scythe called? The wooden shaft is called a snath. I'm not sure. I'm not sure I want to write snath. The shaft of this great. We want it to be a sickle. I think a sickle is a bit more fun, isn't it? The handle of this great sickle is crafted from a bone white wood. We don't need to put Susa in there. We just go the bone of white wood. No. It needs to be bone white wood. The roots extend from the handle onto the blade itself. Amazing. Bit of flavor text. It yearns to drink magic, silencing every creature it strikes with a cleansing fire. Love it. Maybe we call that like cleanse instead. Or the cleansing flame could be good. Maybe that's just cleansing flame. We could give it like a weird quirk, which is like it removes any poison or something like that. That could be a weird. Whoa, 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 whoa. Where's all that text just gone? Did I just delete all that text? Oh my gosh. No. Oh, and I click save. How's that happened? Oh. I'm not happy. Let's retype it and then we can call it a day. Clearly I'm getting tired. That's probably what's happening here. Oh, that's so annoying. Why? Anyway. So I've got to write the thunder one again. Oh, gosh. Don't even know how I did that, to be honest with you. Unwavering. Just because I wanted to change the name of something. Ah. You gain resistance to thunder damage. Doesn't need a capital, I don't think. And then we had the Black Earth Guard text, basically. Let me grab that one more time. Black Earth Guard. Unyielding. Unwavering. See, I didn't even know the name of it, but it's... Wait, it's gone again. Wait. Oh, I've opened it twice. Close. Got it. And if you are subject to an effect that would move, knock you from... Let me just get rid of the formatting, get rid of the link. You can use your reaction to neither be moved nor knocked prone. Great. We're back to where we were. Save this bloody item. Deafened, yes. Blah, 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 blah. Perfect. I forget what I wanted to add to it now. Oh, yeah. Any creature afflicted by poison or disease is cured. If you hit a creature afflicted by poison or disease with this, with the cleansing flame, any poison or disease is cured immediately. Or maybe they take more damage. Oosh, if they're diseased because they're not pure. We'll come back to it. If you hit a creature affected by poison or disease, the cleansing flame. Let's give that a italics. Any poison or disease. All conditions. Poison and or disease, blah, 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 blah. All conditions are cured immediately. Lovely. Done. Right. I think that's pretty solid. Let's go back over to here. So we've got silence. It also cures poison. It ignores fire resistance. We love that. Cool. We have a good basis there. Next time we'll start with emerald. I need to find a way to do this this cloudy or clear crystal, whatever I'm doing. I need to figure out what I'm doing with my story, to be honest. It's just week to week at the moment, so we'll see. I need to craft that. Maybe that can be another stream. But for now, that's it. I think we're done for the evening. Thank you so much for everyone that was watching. Hopefully I'll see y'all in the next stream. I don't know when that will be. We might do another one tomorrow. Who knows? I do have a day of recording tomorrow. For anyone watching, I've got a little sneak peek for you. It's another episode of the Legend Forge. Should appear either tomorrow or the day after. And we are covering Toji Fushiguro. I had this request a long time ago. Really excited to do that. I just need to actually homebrew his weapons. I might record a video for those too, so you can see my process in making those ones and all. Maybe we should have done that tonight. Maybe that would have made more sense. Anyway, we can retcon that next time. Thank you so much for watching. Camera's here, not here as it usually is. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate the support. Hopefully this went well. Hopefully you can hear me okay. Hopefully it's hopefully it's interesting and helpful. I think I helped a couple of people with their characters and such. Thank you, Leslie. Really appreciate the support. Thank you, mate. Yeah, I'll see you all in the next one. I'm going to shoot. Bye-bye. I don't have an ending screen is what I've realised. I only have this starting soon or be right back, which doesn't really work. So it's going to be very abrupt. Goodbye. See you in the next one.